and welcome to the very first episode of the Weekly Scan. The Weekly Scan! I'm your host, Michael Silva. Come on now! This show is all about finding the opportunities in the stock market for the week ahead. Today's date is January 11th, so we're looking for the opportunities for the week of January the 13th. You're gonna go in live to see my thought process on how I look for entry points, stop losses, and also targets. Please note that this show is not investment advice. Let's go ahead and hop into the show. Okay guys, welcome to Finviz.com. This is the website that I use to run my scanner to see what kind of opportunities is out there in the stock market. Keep in mind there's a lot of ads that pop up, but that's okay. What we're gonna do here is probably pick out, I only have the time for about 1 to 2 different stocks, and then we'll plot out entry points and exit points and stop losses. But let's go ahead and hit into the screener. And what I'm looking for today is I'm looking for stocks that are about to break out even further to the upside. So I want them to have already came out, they're at one of their highs, but there's a little bit of a pullback, and maybe the shorters are coming in, and there's still a lot of positive momentum for it to break out even further. So the first thing that I want to do is go to the float short, and I want it to be over 15%. That means, yeah, there are some people that are shorting the stock. However, it's still in a bullish uptrend. So yeah, we might be seeing a little bit of a pullback, which might be a good opportunity to buy some. And if the shorts need to cover, what we'll see is maybe a short squeeze, which would entail the price to all the shorts to cover to make it, move to the upside. Okay, so yeah, over that, and then you can click over here to the technical tab. In the technical tab, I'm looking at the different filters here. I want the 50-day low, 50-day high to be, I want the price to be 0 to 5% below its 50-day high. So that means in the last 50 days, yeah, it's almost at its highest peak, but it's about 0 to 5% below that. So let's go from there. I'm sorry about these ads. Now I'm gonna double click the volume here. I want stocks that are highly liquid. So meaning I want to be able to get in and out of the stock if need be. I don't want to get stuck in something that I just don't want to be in. So you need to have volume, like at least if you're trading large amounts of money or large amounts of shares, I should say, have at least 1 million plus. I mean, you could go lower, but it just, your orders might take longer to get filled. You have a risk of getting stuck. So 1 million plus is a safe bet. All right. So now it brought up, so it had like 7,800 stocks it was scanning. Now there's a total of 81. So we have 81 stocks that we can go through and seek out opportunities. Let's go ahead and dive in to see. Now, when I hover over it, it's going to show me opportunities. And I'm seeing opportunities right out of the gate. This is awesome. So this is ticker symbol LK. I might be pulling that in, and oh my goodness, that's even a great opportunity. This doesn't typically happen to find a couple good ones right out of the gate, but what I'll do is I'm going to put this in I'm going to remind myself about this, and I'll bring it back to stockcharts.com, and we can map out what I personally would use as a stop loss, entry point, etc. Ticker symbol plug. Okay. Tesla. Hello. There's some good opportunity out here. So if you're wondering what I'm looking for right now, I'm looking for stocks that have been gradually moving to the upwards direction, not stocks that have been going down per se. So I want them to be going up, and maybe we're seeing a little bit of a pullback, and I'm looking for a level of support that the price might bounce off of. So a good entry point is what that is. All right, so I found 3 stocks that I like. I like LK, SIRI, SIRI, and ticker symbol MAT. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause the video at the moment. I'm going to bring these 3 charts up on stockcharts.com, and we're going to go ahead and map out what I think would be a good opportunity going into the next week. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, I am back. What we are going to do is going to go through these 3 stocks. We're going to move somewhat quickly because I know your time is important. So let's hop into it. Our first stock that we're going to be looking into is ticker symbol LK for Luckin Coffee. What I'm seeing here right out of the gate, so we're going to plot out, sorry, let me reverse. So what we're going to plot out is we're going to look for an entry point, we're going to look for a stop loss, and we're going to look for a target. Okay, so first thing that I like to do is I want to look for a potential entry point. So that means I'm looking for an area of previous support that the price might come down to. It has been in a bullish momentum upward, so I want it to pull back to get a good entry point. I want a nice tight stop loss and then a potential target of where I can think the stock can go. So we're looking at this. I mean, the MACD right here is looking somewhat bullish here. You know, it has a good separation between the two lines. It's above 0. The RSI indicator is oversold, so we might be seeing a pullback. In this last candle that formed on high volume is not the greatest looking at. It basically shows, yeah, there's this run up and now we have profit takers coming down. So where can this price go to is my question. So right out of the gate, I see something very simple. Now, you don't need to complicate this. This is not rocket science. So I'm going to go ahead and make this green, and I'm going to go ahead and put an entry point right here. The reason why right here is because the price came up, bounced down, and then all of a sudden came up here, got rejected a little bit, came down a little bit more, and then boom, came up, and now it's coming back down. So I think if we can get the price down to the $40 range, that could be a good entry point. So I'm going to say my entry would be 40.25 would be a good entry point. And now it's time to find a stop loss. Now I want a pretty tight stop loss because I don't want to lose a lot of money, right? No one does. But where do I think that this thing could potentially come down? So it could come down here. I think this would be a very good bounce point. So it still has a little whiles to move. As far as stop loss goes, I mean, yeah, you can put it way down here or below the 50, but that's just too big. It's just too much. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I would say that a good stop loss would be right around here, this range. So it's basically right below this candle wick that got a little rejected, came up, got bounced down, came back up, came here. It's still below that one. I'm going to say just right below, and even say you can potentially even, oh, there we go. I would say, man, it gets so difficult. You know, you always want to be right. You always want to be right. Yeah, I'm going to say right here, 38.29. That would be a good stop loss. Now, because it's right below this wick, you know, cam got rejected, so there's still big support. But if it really breaks through this candle significantly, I mean, we might be able to see it come a lot farther down, and we just have to create a new trade strategy. So, and then as a target goes, this is simple. For the most part, we're going to do a horizontal line. I'm going to make the target red. Now, we can go way up here, but realistically, like picking the very top is not always that great. So I like to be, I mean, man, it was perfectly right here both times. So this actually would make sense as a target, like not at the very top, but just right below, maybe just a little bit lower than that. See how it's like, so right around this area, you see $45.32. If you come down just a little bit, 45. So I would say I want to be right below that round number. So I'm going to say 44, 44.95 would be my entry point. So there you have it. This trade I would definitely play. Now, what's very important while I'm plotting this out is I want to know, okay, well, how much am I actually risking per share? And the way that you figure that out is you just simply minus your entry point from your stop loss. So if I were to do that, I mean, it's actually really simple. It's $2 because the evens are net. So basically, I'm risking $2 per share, right? $2 per share to potentially have it go up all the way to $44.95. So 44.95 minus $40.25, $4.70. So I'm risking $2 to potentially gain $4.75. Not too shabby there. Okay. The next symbol we're going to be reviewing is ticker symbol SIRI, SIRI. Right out of the gate, I mean, this is simple. Like, it's coming down to the 50-day moving average. It has been moving in upwards momentum. The last time it hit the 50-day moving average, it started moving up. This looks absolutely amazing. Let's do this really quick. We're going to go ahead and plan our entry point right here at this area of support, which is basically where the price is at. So should we wait to see it maybe potentially come down a little bit more to the 50-day? I mean, we can. And I mean, look at when it broke this, it bounced here and then finally came up. So yeah, I would say this would be, I mean, pretty much right out of the gate, a good entry. Let's pull back just a little bit. Let's go 695 for our entry point. Where's the, 695. Oh man, like I wouldn't want to miss this. So yeah, So we'll do 695. The 50-day moving average is 694. So if we can pull back just a little bit more, I mean, holy moly, like the price came down, these big wolf candles formed. So you got to understand there is downwards pressure, and the MACD is going down towards negative. It's showing bearish. And then the RSI is not really showing us too much. It's kind of just sitting around there at the middle of 50. So, I mean, yeah, we could potentially go farther down, but the 50-day moving average is here, and it's previously acted as support. So let's just go ahead and put it at the 50-day moving average. I'm going to do $6.95. So will we hit this trade? Maybe. Can we miss out on the opportunity? Yeah, maybe. But you need to be patient. So I'm going to go ahead and now put up my stop loss. Stop loss is going to be in the gray. I don't want to go too far down from the 50-day moving average, so I'm going to keep it pretty much right below the 690 marker at 687. It's right below these candles. So it's a pretty tight stop loss. And then as far as my target goes, I'm going to pick a target of right around this portion right here. So 715. I want to calculate my risk, and I also want to calculate my potential reward on this trade. So my risk, like I said, is very simple math. I got to minus my entry point, 6.95 minus 6.87. I'm risking 0.8 cents per share, 8 cents per share. My potential reward, I'd like to see it at around 25 cents because then it'd be a good 3-to-1 right there. But my potential reward is going to be my target minus my entry, 20 cents. Okay, so I'm risking 8 cents to potentially gain 20 cents. Now, if I wanted to make it a higher reward, I wouldn't move my target up. I would move my entry point down. So I don't want to adjust my target ever once I have a target in sight, and I really don't want to adjust my stop loss. So the only way that I can make this a better risk versus reward is by moving my entry point down. Okay, the next chart we are analyzing is ticker symbol MAT, Mattel. All right, what do we see here? Hey, I'm seeing this pattern. So there's this big wolf here, which meant it was going to be downwards pressure, but then the green came back, and then it kind of came down again, and it's been at this little area right here of support. I wouldn't want to see it really break down that, because if it breaks down, it could fall all the way down to, its next level. But it's kind of forming a flag pattern. It has this bullish crossover right here where the 50-day moving average moved up. The 200 SMA is not really giving us much. It's kind of flat. The MACD, it looks like it's almost kind of about to turn over and become bearish. And the RSI looks like it's heading back down toward the 50. So, do we want to do the obvious area of support and place it right here? Or sorry, the obvious entry point, somewhere right around this range. And then if it breaks, just have a tight stop loss. Wouldn't be that bad of an idea, to be honest. There's a couple candles that do scare me. Or the next area, which would be more around, this range, I would say right around here with a stop loss down here. So, interesting. So what I do notice here on the volume is on this candle, it was above average volume. And then next 3 candles moving sideways, it was significantly less volume, and the volume was tapering off. So when the volume is tapering off, can this be a significant pullback? Yes, but also no. So it's kind of hard to say at this point. So what I think that I would do is, it looks like, basically $14 is a big area of support here. So I want to enter in at 14. The price right now is at 14.07. I would say, you know what? Let's enter in at 14.05. If it pulls back just a little bit, right, we'll probably get filled. Let's pull back. Let's do 14.05, and let's go ahead and put a stop loss. And let's put a stop loss very tight right below this area of support. So that's 13.93. I'm going to move it down just a little bit longer. So I'm going to say 13.85. So I have a stop loss of 1385. I have an entry point of 1405. This is looking good. Now, where do we find a target? So this is kind of difficult because we can zoom back in the chart and maybe see a previous area. But what I like to do in these patterns is simply this. So you see this bull kind of pull that came up and then the flag consolidates. I want to take basically the same, basically the same distance of this pull, and I want to move it from the bottom to basically a bottom of this candle or this entry point to the top. So, I mean, this isn't a for sure certain thing, but what I've seen in the previous trades is sometimes when it does break out of these flag patterns, it can go as high as the previous pull that it formed. So just looking at that, I mean, I would just do it from the low of this candle to the high. So we're looking at 1450. I would say 1475. Yeah, 1475 would be the ideal target. And this is right here at 1447. Yeah, I'd say 1475 would be the target. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. My risk, we'll do the calculation. Entry point minus stop loss. Risking 20 cents a share to potentially gain 70 cents per share. Hello. So I'm risking 20 cents per share to gain potentially 70 cents. I'll take that any day of the week. All right. All right, guys, there you have it. We went over 3 ticker symbols. We went over LK, SIRI, and ticker symbol MAT. We created a trade plan around them. We're going to follow up next week to see how these trades potentially played out. If we got our orders filled, if we didn't, if we got stopped out, we will see. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Please comment below if you guys want to see it in a different format. I feel like, you know, this might be a little too long, so I'd like to shorten it up somehow. So if you have any ideas on that, please drop a comment, like, subscribe. You know the deal. See you guys next week. Bye.